Hey guys, FilthyRobot here, back with the Arumba, continuing our EU4 campaign of dominating England, apparently.
Yeah. How's it going? How have you been? It's been a
Um,
whole day or two, right?
yeah, it's been 2 days, I think, something. I've been doing well, doing well. Uh, been thinking a little bit about EU4. I was kind of thinking, this is a harder. Is this the hardest I've forgotten, or a harder difficulty?
We're playing on harder, or well, hard AI. There are actual difficulty settings which will give you, in this case, they don't give you penalties, but similar to Civilization, they'll give bonuses to the AI.
Hmm.
Things like reduced loan interest rate, reduced aggressive expansion, um, reduced coring costs, bigger force limits, bigger manpower recovery. But yeah, it doesn't really make the game any harder because what you can do is you just end up having lots of vassals, and then they get the bonuses too.
Ah.
So you end up offsetting the bonuses that the enemy AI get by just having AI of your own.
So I guess
So
what I was going with is that, man, like you've been talking England is this massive superpower, and it's been fucking scary, and I've been worrying about it, but we're kind of curb stomping them right now.
yeah, we took advantage of a few timely opportunistic openings there, with him having most of his troops on the French border. Most likely, what we did is we just caught him with his pants down. He was expecting that we would not attack him, because that's crazy. He thought he was going to go and attack France, and I don't know, he thought wrong.
Hmm.
Even attacking France with us being his ally, he probably shouldn't have had all of his troops off of the island. But
Yeah. Well.
so anyway, we've heard some news since the last time we recorded, and that is that all these fort changes are not actually going to make it into the base game. They've decided against implementing the fort changes as we've discussed them. So just a real quick review. Instead of forts being functioning based on areas, they're going to go back to the old model, which was just based on adjacency. So we're
So I
still
don't
in the
have to
beta
worry about
patch.
the area part then. It's just, is it, so talk to me about the zone of control for forts then around the area. So is it moving? They can't move. How does it work? Just explain it.
Well, again, we're still in the beta patch, so we're actually still playing with this fort model that isn't going to end up happening. But
Oh, they haven't
um,
patched that? Okay.
no, they haven't changed the beta itself, which is I personally feel like it's pretty short-sighted. I liked the changes. I've grown very accustomed to them, and I think they're much better than the actual vanilla version. So oh well. But so basically, the way it works now, or will work if you're playing on vanilla E4, is that if a fort exists and it has provinces that it borders, it extends a zone of control into those provinces that it borders. And if an enemy unit marches into that on any province adjacent to a fort, they can only move onto the fort or back the way they came.
Okay.
Where it gets a little bit tricky is when there's two zone of controls, like two forts adjacent to each other, and they both extended a zone of control into the same province.
Yeah.
In that case, you can move to either fort, but then really weird things can happen if you siege a fort down and destroy its zone of control while you're within the zone of control of another fort, and it's I don't know. This is one of the reasons why I really don't like the idea that they're not changing it. But let's
Alright.
just not worry about it now.
Yeah, I was just curious. I'm just curious.
A couple things we noticed between episodes, though, is that we do have the rebels up to 90% on the outliner. You can see Leinster Separatists are at 90% progress, which means that the next time they successfully tick with a 7.7% chance, they will rebel. When they rebel, they're going to rebel with 10,000 troops, which is a lot for us right now. Part of the reason why we're having these issues is due to separatism, and I don't think we talked about this on an actual video. So let's just briefly talk about separatism. By default, when you conquer a nation, and they are of a different culture group than you, then you get separatism. Basically, they want to go back to the tag that they used to be. And in this case, we conquered Leinster, and they are Irish. We are not Irish, and so they want to go back to being Leinster. They don't want to be us. So you get 30 years of separatism. The unrest from separatism is half of the number of years remaining. So in this case, you start at 30 years of separatism, you start with 15 unrest from separatism. Right now, we've had it for 4 years, so we've decayed it down to 13. That's causing the vast majority of unrest in this province. However, it is Catholic, so we have high tolerance to that. Somehow we lucked into positive 3 stability. We have some legitimacy. War exhaustion's harming us a little bit, and then we have non-accepted culture. We're
So
not really in a
sorry,
position to fight
what
this. Go ahead. Go
what
ahead.
tab slash interface were you on to see this? So I clicked on the little red Rebel Uprising flag in the top left of our screen that's popped up since we've loaded the game, and I can see the Leinster Separatists here, and I can see the fact they're at 90%, but I didn't see a lot of the breakdown numbers that you were listing out a second ago.
Yeah, you click on the province of Leinster, and then you just hover over the unrest on that individual province, and it gives you the breakdown of how you got to 8.5 unrest.
Where is the unrest on the individual class? So I've left-clicked now on the province, and I don't actually see the... Oh, I see the 8.5 now. Got it. Okay, thank you.
Right above the autonomy.
Yep.
So there's a couple of ways we could try to put this down. Number one, we could try to make the malices that we have go away, right? Get rid of war exhaustion. We could spend some Diplo points right now to buy down our war exhaustion. If you go to your Stability and Expansion tab, F19, you'll see in the top left we've got our 3.11 war exhaustion. We could spend 75 Diplo points to buy war exhaustion down by 2. Usually, this is an emergency thing to do. Like, it'll decay naturally on its own by 0.1 per month while we're at peace. And we spent a lot of time at peace in the beginning of the game, so that represents about 31 months of peace, 2.5 years. So we'd rather just let that tick down over time rather than spending monarch points. So that's not something we should really do, because even then, even if we did that, it's only going to take the unrest in the province down by 2, and that's not going to make the problem go away.
Right.
So another option is that we could go park some troops there. Every 1 regiment you put in a province will reduce unrest in that province by 0.25. So you can
that's still, we're going to have to park a lot of troops there to get the 8.5 down. Do anything.
If we park 20,000 men, which we don't even have, by the way, we could reduce unrest by 5. But that is the cap. You can't go beyond 5. So again, if we did the war exhaustion click and park 20,000 men there, we could almost get it down to 0 to prevent the unrest. But we can't do that. We don't have 20,000 men. So even if we did get it all the way down to 0, what would end up happening is that because none of the provinces that want to become Leinster separatists, that identify as that type of rebel, if none of them have any positive unrest, the progress towards the next uprising will decay by 10% per month. So we would have to keep the army there for 9 months to make it go all the way down to 0. Our best course of action right now is going to be actually to do something called harsh treatment. So we're going to go ahead and click on the alert, the rebel uprising alert.
Yeah.
There's a button now adjacent to Leinster separatists called handle them.
Yeah.
And we're going to go ahead and we're going to do this one called harsh treatment. This is just going to force them down by 30% progress. This is another, what I would consider to be a short-term gain, long-term loss type button.
Yeah.
But in this case, it is our best option. This is the only one we can do right this second to guarantee we don't have 10,000 troops rise up against us in a province we can't deal with.
Okay. And it is costing us, unfortunately, military points, which we just spent on something recently. I can't remember what now.
We teched up military ahead of everyone else nearby us. That's part of the reason why I'm willing to do it. We're already ahead of them. If we were behind on tech, if we were tech 3 versus their 4, there's no way we could justify spending military points because we have to catch up.
Okay.
In this case, we're ahead. We're kind of looking okay, and this is the best option available to us.
Why does boost stability have no cost associated with it right now? Just as a country stability... Oh, no, it says the country stability is +3. I thought it was saying I could click that and get through +3. Never mind. Okay, so we're going to harsh treatment them.
Yeah. Normally you could boost stability from there, but you can't go beyond 3 stability, so...
Okay. So I click harsh treatment.
Yep. We'll spend 50 of our monarch points, 50 military monarch points, and now their progress, you'll notice in the Outlanders, back down to 60%.
Yeah.
Again, short-term gain, long-term loss. Our long-term plan is going to be end the war with England and then go park our army in Leinster until we can make this problem go away.
Okay.
Or just fight them. But we can't fight them and England at the same time because we need to do these sieges.
Well, why is Leinster so much more? So I can see the actual unrest, and some of it, I'm trying to think why it would be higher in these, because the other groups are different cultural stuff too, right? And actually it's not higher. So we have higher unrest in Sligo. Sligo is actually at 9, and Tyrone here is 8.5 as well. So we just got unlucky on the rolls with that, or is this we've had it longer? Why? I don't remember. We don't think we have had it longer. Why is it so much higher the rebel score in Leinster as opposed to the other two?
Well, we did conquer Leinster as our very first bit of conquest. That's the very first nation we pieced out. Not by very much, but like a few months. And then, yes, for the most part, it's just due to random dice rolls.
Okay, so we are just rolling bad in that particular province.
Yep, we're going to have issues. You'll notice if you hover over the outliner rebel factions, you can see, like, Tyrone separatists, we're estimating that they're going to rebel in 8.6 years.
Yeah.
The Sligonians are 9.1, and the Leinsters are now 4.3. So we've got like 4.3 years on average before that's going to be an issue again. So let's try to wrap up the war with England within the next, say, 3 years so we can go deal with it. And also account for some variation, some variability.
Okay.
So one thing we need to do is we need some extra troops here. We want to conduct both sieges at the same time so that we can end the war with England as quickly as possible. We have a level 3
and as a quick recap,
capital.
what you're telling me is we need 3 times. It's 3 times the garrison strength, and then is it more per fort, per level of fort?
It's 3 times the... Yeah, well, in this case, London has a garrison of 3, and so we need to have 3 times that, 9,000.
Okay, so the garrison is the garrison is based on the fort level. That's why they have 3K garrison, and we always for sieging you always need 3 times the garrison level for that siege.
Yes, I want to be specific though. It's actually like if the garrison were depleted. Let's say the garrison was only 2,500 instead of the 3,000. 2,500 times 3 is 7,500, but that doesn't mean you can do the siege with 8,000. It's 3 times the fort level specifically. Okay. So maximum garrison. Make sense?
Yep.
And then beyond that, we want to have 1 extra troop just to guarantee that we don't lose any speed if we get a disease outbreak.
Yep.
So we need 10K troops for London. Hampshire is a level 2 fort, so we need 6K plus 1 extra. So we need 17,000 troops to conduct both sieges reliably at the same time right now.
And where is our second army right now? So we have, we just have nowhere near 17,000 troops. Not even close.
Yeah, we got 15K. We're going to keep 2,000 over in Ireland because we want to prevent any training of troops over there. We probably would like to end these sieges over here. In fact, hold on.
Wait. Where do you even see 15? I see on the outlier, I see 5 armies, actually 6 armies, 5 of them at 1K and 1 of them at 8K. So I see 13K. Where are you seeing 15K?
Press F1 and then F2 to go to the military tab.
Yeah.
And I'm counting the number of actual regiments. 12 plus 3 is 15. We have 15 regiments.
Okay, so this is just because some of our regiments are not at full strength. Quite a few of our regiments, in fact, are not at full strength.
Yep. So my mental process here is I've got 15 regiments. 2 are being used for troop training suppression. So that means I've got 13, and I said I needed 17. So I'm thinking maybe we train 4 more troops.
Okay.
But I just had another thought, and that's that we probably do want to piece out Kildare separately ahead of the peace deal with England, because we can separate piece them and take a bunch of money.
Okay.
They were not an ally. Or sorry, they were not a vassal. Ulster's a vassal, which means that he is subservient to England. We can't separate piece a vassal. But we can separate piece Kildare, take a bunch of money, even take his land if we want to.
Okay.
So I'm thinking now maybe we actually want to send a couple extra troops that way first.
Well, either way, we need more troops then, it sounds like.
Yeah, we don't have enough men to do all these sieges.
Yeah. And we're actually kind of losing quite a lot of gold per month right now. 4.3.
Yeah, but we're going to get it all back when we peace out England. We're going to take a big chunk of their ducats, and then we're going to take war reps, probably.
Okay.
So they're going to finance our economic recovery, which is also going to harm their recovery.
Good.
So let's go ahead and do this battle in Lincolnshire, and then we'll see where we go from there. We have a diplomat free. Oh, that is really unfortunate. So because we reloaded the save, France just recalculated and decided they don't want to do our subsidies anymore.
Oh, they can cancel this?
Oh, yeah, sure. They don't have to do them. So now we're losing even more money. We're losing 7 ducats a month now.
Hasn't updated for me the 7 yet, but that's unfortunate. Okay.
Well, if you press F1 and then go to your economy tab, it'll show negative 6.89 is the estimated balance change next month.
Ouch.
I'm looking through our list here. We've got we have a loan, we've got fort maintenance, we got 3 forts on right now. I think we need to turn these forts off. It'll save us a little bit of money. We don't have any risk of anyone sieging down our capital, so we'll mothball the fort in the capital. Now we're going to get an alert saying there are mothballed forts. You shouldn't do that. And we're going to do it anyway. We're also going to mothball the fort in Marches because there's just no risk of us losing it. And where is this 3rd fort? What other fort are we paying for right now?
I don't know. There's none. Are the forts in this?
Oh, interesting. We have a fort in Ceuta.
In where?
Ceuta, south of Castile, down in the Iberian Peninsula near Spain and Portugal, Castile, that whole area. So France, this is brilliant. France has 19,000 troops down in Africa. He has conquered the fort in Ceuta, and he has decided to transfer control of it to us because he doesn't want this land. So he's making us pay the maintenance for it because he's a dick.
He can just do that? He can just give us territories and we don't have to worry about it? We don't know about it?
He's transferred control of it. We don't own the land. We just have it occupied. Does that make sense?
And why don't we do that with all of... Like, I guess because we're not paying any upkeys on any of the stuff we have in England. Like, if we transferred control of all the provinces except the 4 that we actually had war claims on, like, what would happen? What do we lose and gain by doing that? So why is he doing this? What does he gain by doing this? Just not paying the maintenance?
In general, the AI will always transfer control of provinces to the war leader unless they specifically want that land themselves.
Okay.
You cannot take the land in a peace deal for yourself if you don't control it. So he won't give up land that he wants because then he can't, hopefully get it. So we're going to at least mothball the fort in Ceuta because there's really no risk of it getting sieged. So that saves us a little bit of money. Saved a tiny bit. We're down to fort maintenance of just 0.25 in our capital. Let's do this next fight, and then I think we might be able to sneak away with a little bit of less army maintenance.
Okay.
We could consider firing our advisors. We don't have to have them. There's a sunken cost, you know. We paid the higher cost to buy them.
And don't we have to pay a fire cost as well, like a retirement cost?
Retirement cost is something that you do when you want to cycle the advisor. You don't want to hire him, and you also don't want him as an unavailable option. You want to just basically kill him and get a new random person generated.
Oh.
So when you do that, you pay the higher cost to cycle them out, so you have more choices. Once you have all the different advisors memorized, you'll know specific ones and like which one you want. And sometimes it can be worthwhile to fire them to try to find a good one. But yeah, I think what we do right now, let's just go for a little bit longer here. We're going to fight this army in Yorkshire, and then go from there. Okay. I am going to go ahead and shift consolidate because we have 6,000 troops. He's only got 5, and we don't really want to reinforce.
All right.
So shift consolidating, to refresh your memory, makes it so that the regiments still exist. They'll go down to 0 if they need to, but it makes every regiment in the army
full strength.
Yeah. So that'll make us fight a little bit stronger against his army. He just landed 2,000 more troops. It's probably a good thing that we did that. We rolled a 4 versus this 10. Ouch. That's a bad first shock phase for us. There's a 2 versus a 5 in the next fire phase.
Dude.
There's him reinforcing.
6 versus a 9, huh?
Yeah, not rolling nearly as well as we did before, but it's okay. We're going to stack wipe him in Essex now.
So what happened? He retreated again because his morale hit 0?
Yep, we got his morale down low enough that he had to run away. So I think it's time to consolidate out one of the cav. Notice how when you select that army, we've got 3 regiments of cavalry and only 1,900 cav total.
Yeah.
If we consolidate the cav down to just 2 regiments, that would save us money in the long run. And 2 is really like the sweet spot for cavalry in the early game.
Yeah, you've been wanting to do this for a while anyways. All right, can you show me how to remind me how to do that? So I have the army selected. I can see the 1894 cav.
Yep, the risk in doing it right now is we actually don't want to do it for the infantry, and you can only do it as a singular action. So let's wait a second. Yeah. We'll wait, but we're probably going to end up doing it. So first things first, let's stack wipe one of these armies. All right, now that we're in a province, now we can select that army. And then while you have the army selected, you can just press the X key. That's a default vanilla shortcut. It'll select cavalry. Now click that little button with the join feature, or just press K. And that just consolidated them down and said, hey, you guys are no longer 3, you're now just 2.
Okay.
So let's go ahead and we're going to leave behind, say, enough men to conduct the siege, and then send the others over to stack wipe the other army.
Okay. And we insta-stack wipe something. What's the insta-stack wipe? 10? Is it 10 times?
That's an overrun.
Yeah.
That is different from what happened in Essex. In Essex, every single army had 0 morale, so they couldn't fight, so we just killed them instantly.
Okay.
The reason why there's a battle right now in Norfolk is that even though most of these troops, there's six actual infantry regiments here, notice how in the actual battle there's only 1?
Yeah.
That's because one of them has morale, all 5 the others don't.
Okay.
So we got to kill this one guy, and then we're probably going to have to chase it one more province over. We probably won't get a stack wipe here. He's actually still landing troops, and now the Papal State is dropping 6 troops off in Kent.
Yeah, it's not good.
On August the 7th. How is he able to do that so quickly? We have control of Kent. He shouldn't be able to land that fast. It should take 30 days. Let's see. I have a diplomat free right now. Our individual war score against Portugal is at 22, which means... Okay, I should talk about how you look that up. Okay, click on the war summary, the war overview, the flag at the bottom of the screen.
Yeah. I'm there.
Okay, so we're the war leader. These are all the people we're fighting against. You can see their enthusiasm, right? Which is just this AI value that determines how much they want to stay in the war.
Okay.
Ideally, you want to piece people out when they get down to medium or low enthusiasm. That's when they're going to give you the best deal in the piece.
Okay.
If you hover over where it says Scotland on the left side, you can see individual war score against England, individual war score against Portugal.
Yeah.
So the 22 says, if we were to try to conduct a separate peace with Portugal, how much war score do we have against them specifically? So when you go and you try to negotiate a peace deal with Portugal, Go ahead and like either go right click on Portugal and say sue for peace, or if you're on the war overview, you can click the offer peace treaty, and then on the right hand side change over to Portugal. Just make sure you're negotiating specifically with Portugal.
Okay, I've selected Portugal Kingdom.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and then you said I can do what now? I can go to the sue for peace.
Yep.
Okay.
So you can see now, once you are looking at this peace deal, the Scottish conquest of Cumbria, and now at the top, see it says war score 22%.
Yeah.
That's because we actually own some of his actual land.
That's the stuff that France gifted us too.
Yeah, exactly. And if France hadn't done that, our individual war score would be 0 because we don't have any individual war score with Portugal.
Sure.
So the drawback to individual war score is you can never get like war score from battles or anything from it. It's going to come down to occupations, blockades, that kind of stuff. So unfortunately, you'll notice the red X. Portugal is still not willing to leave the war. Even though they're on medium enthusiasm, they don't want to leave the war yet, but maybe soon. Same thing, what I was looking for there is, did we have any individual war score with the Papal State? And we don't. So what I was hoping to do is piece the Papal State out before his troops land, so we just don't have to deal with them.
Yeah. Yeah, that's unfortunate. We don't really want... And he has full morale on that landing fleet, which is too bad.
Yeah. So, all right, I think what we're going to do here is we're going to grab all these troops. We've got 2 zones of control to deal with. Let's just see how... We have to come into Kent through Hampshire. Yeah, we're going to have to give up these sieges. We're going to win the war with England, the battle with England here pretty darn easily. We should. We're still... Look at this. We're just barely able to fight him right now. Rolling zeros. Come on, Wallace. I'm going to take that... We're going to take that named province back from you.
Same.
Okay, we finished that battle. We want to stack wipe. Let's go ahead. We're going to send 1 troop to Essex, and the rest... actually, it's going to be better to go the other way. We'll send 1 up to Lincolnshire, and the rest down to Essex. Get both stack wipes. Notice the little cross swords indicators. We're going to get a stack wipe.
That's what that means.
No, the reason why we know we're going to get a stack wipe specifically, it's a battle indicator. It's saying there's going to be a battle in these provinces, and if you hover over it, it'll tell you exactly when the battle's going to be. Okay. The reason why I say it's going to be a stack wipe, though, is that it's August the 3rd. The battle ended at the end of the month, right?
So they've had no time to get the tick to recover any morale, so they're going to be 0 morale and insta-kills them.
And both battles are going to happen in August. So it doesn't matter. That's why we can actually send a 1 stack to stack wipe the other army. We know for sure they're just going to die instantly. So there goes one of them. The other army needs to now head this way. And the Papal State did land. Look at this. This is hilarious. So this little 0.5 stack with no leader is going to go stack wipe 3,500 troops.
Awesome.
Good job, dude. Nice work.
Just by the way, unfortunately, it is about that time.
Oh, yeah. Time flies.
Yes, it does.
Okay. Well, we will be back. Same time, same place tomorrow. As always, thank you for watching. We'll see you soon.
See you guys soon.